Tonight on CTV News at 6. Not much has been released yet in the way of Sault Ste. Marie's latest homicide.
On Saturday evening, 911 communicators did receive a phone call of someone being injured in the 100 block of Poplar Avenue.
We'll have the latest on the investigation and what police are telling us. Plus, the city of Timmins is looking at its encampments.
They're always screaming and yelling. They try to come in our yard. They try coming in our house.
City officials say they're working on a way to address the situation. And a major milestone when it comes to restoring the Northlander.
North deserves and requires a passenger rail service.
We'll have more on a new bypass and the investment from the province.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Rima and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tony is off. Details so far remain few and far between about Sault Ste. Marie's latest homicide. On Saturday, police were called over reports of a badly injured person that later passed away. CTV's Corey Nordstrom starts us off tonight.
Detectives with the Sault Ste. Marie Police are investigating after the city's third homicide of the year was reported over the weekend here on Poplar Avenue. Right now, there are few details that police representatives are able to give as the investigation is still in its early stages.
On Saturday evening, 911 communicators did receive a phone call of someone being injured in the 100 block of Poplar Avenue. Officers did respond. They found somebody suffering life-threatening injuries, and as you mentioned, they later succumbed to those injuries.
Things looked much different Sunday afternoon on Poplar Avenue as police taped off a large portion of the neighborhood to conduct their work, having now lifted the scene as the investigation continues. Police would not say the nature of the victim's injuries or where in the crime scene they were found by first responders. They did add that next of kin have been notified. Police are also requesting the community's assistance to help in the investigation.
We've put out a pieces of information, and we are urging anybody that lives in the area or may have frequented the area on Saturday evening to, obviously check any video surveillance they may have or dash cam, or if they think they heard something, obviously to please contact us so detectives can follow up those leads.
Police officials say that in order to protect the integrity of the investigation, they cannot release additional details on the case, but hope that more information can be shared with the public in the following days. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
One person is dead and another injured following a rollover Sunday near Sundridge. A logging truck rolled over on the on-ramp to Highway 11 from Highway 124 early yesterday morning in Strong Township. The 70-year-old driver from Huntsville was transported to hospital and later pronounced dead. The passenger in the vehicle was also taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No word yet on what might have caused the crash. Last week, there were 2 days in a row where alcohol was stolen from a gas station in Sudbury, where the youth suspects displayed what appeared to be guns. One store owner is speaking out, saying that repeat offenders are to blame. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Churchill Convenience, located on Bancroft Drive, is one of 3 locations Kalrav Barut owns in Sudbury. He says the store alone has experienced 10 alcohol thefts. The most recent, which happened last Thursday, involved 5 youths aged 15 and 16.
My employee tried to tell them that don't take our product, but the boys keep telling my employee that I will kill you, I will kill you. And he tried to go away to the door side just to leave them here. So that's why he showed him a handgun and the knife.
He says most of the theft involves underage individuals and that his store is not the only one experiencing this in the city.
We have the small store and we try to do our best to serve the community, and at the same time we are expecting that we're not getting this kind of the problem.
Terry Yaldo, chair of the Ontario Convenience Stores Association, says they have been fighting for 20 years to get alcohol sales into stores. And while he says theft has been on the rise, he doesn't believe alcohol in stores has sped that up in any way.
Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of our current justice system and allowing some of these repeat offenders to constantly, go through that revolving door. There's a lot of resources that go into catching them, the police having to do the report, going to court, and then all of a sudden, nothing is happening to deter them.
He says at the end of the day, this hurts everyone.
It's going to cost me and you money. And as a business owner, any single theft in my business comes out of my pay.
Both men say safety is definitely a concern in the industry, as many employees are working alone. Yaldo says he fears it may get to the point where someone loses their life, so he feels it's extremely important that we address this issue as a society. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
The city of Timmins is researching options for an encampment location. It comes as one that's currently in a residential area is raising safety concerns. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
They're always screaming and yelling. They try to come in our yard. They try coming in our house.
The encampment behind Chastity Dugay's home on Spruce Street South makes her feel unsafe every day.
I got in a fist fight with a lady the other day because she was smoking crack in our yard, and we asked her if she could please leave, and I still have bruises.
Dugay says whenever she can't deal with a situation herself, she calls Timmins police and figures she's called at least 100 times for help.
They're usually here fairly quickly. It just depends how busy they are. They come when they can, and then they can arrest them, and then the people are out the next day. And then it's just the same thing.
A few weeks ago, Dugay says she wrote to the city to complain about the encampment, and it's finally getting some attention, such as on Friday. But she wants the encampment gone.
They need somewhere to go. I don't know where that place can be. I don't really have any suggestions. I just don't want it behind our house. We have little kids that live up the street.
Timmins councillor Bill Gazdanovich says the city is working on it.
And I knew it was going to come back to one site, and that's what we're looking at doing. Now it's a matter of finding a place away from residential, and if they choose to have a tent or any kind of encampment, that's where they're going to go. If people don't want to stay in a shelter and they want to have a tent, they're not just going to put it wherever they feel like. Okay, we're going to decide where that's going to take place.
In the meantime, the city's hired security guards to patrol a 2-kilometer area around the encampment for a month.
There was 4 of them on the Monday because they're just, I think, getting familiar with everything and learning what they want them to report back. But I have seen them.
Council now waits for a report on potential locations for an encampment and on who owns the land where the encampment is situated. Living Space says the encampment area is a separate entity. However, it says its doors are always open to provide services to whomever wants to become a client. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Police are looking for witnesses after a hit and run in Doki's First Nation over the weekend. According to Anishinaabeg police, a male on a motor-assisted bike was hit at Subdivision Road and Charlie's Bay Road sometime yesterday between the hours of 2 and 3 p.m. The victim was taken to hospital where he was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was last seen driving towards Main Street. The suspect is described as male with long hair, in his 20s. He had a female passenger and was driving a white, possibly Toyota, Honda, or Hyundai. The vehicle will also have visible damage to the passenger side of the vehicle. Time for our first check on weather, and with more, CTV's Rick Wyman joins us. And Rick, I'm going to be having a busy week. I'm hoping for decent conditions.
Well, as the future mayor of Noelville, Ian, you are going to be very, very busy getting to know your new neighbors and, just getting a lay of the land. It's a great spot, by the way. Love your house. Have fun this week. So remember, in Noelville, it's all about Ian Campbell this week. It's Ian Campbell week. Let's say we've got the weather for Ian Campbell. Our systems map right now. No threat of rain until the next couple of days. 30% chance come Thursday, Ian. So you've got some sun today, tomorrow, coming up Wednesday, back at it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Details coming up.
Thanks so much. There's more to come on CTV News at 6. For now, let's go to a live shot of downtown Timmins. This shot coming from City Hall, courtesy of the city itself. Plenty of sunshine still at this hour up there. A beautiful start to the work week. Will it last, though? Rick will have all the details in a little bit. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Reports of gunshots in a North Bay apartment yesterday resulted in a heavy police presence on Rose Avenue. Police evacuated the building after receiving a call around 1 a.m. They searched the building and found no evidence of a firearm and no arrests were made. Residents were finally cleared to return to their homes shortly after 5 in the evening. An impaired driver was charged near Sturgeon Falls Saturday after hitting a dead moose. OPP were called to Highway 17 near the landfill site road after a commercial vehicle hit a moose. While the transport was pulled over, a woman in a passenger vehicle hit the dead moose, rolling her car. The 43-year-old was treated for minor injuries, and police found the woman to be intoxicated. Fire crews in Sault Ste. Marie had a busy weekend battling 3 different blazes. One resulted in a hospitalization and another has been deemed suspicious. The first was in the 300 block of Wellington Street East Saturday morning. No one was home and crews were able to contain and put out the fire. Just 5 hours later, crews were called to Sutton Place, where one person had to be taken to hospital after fire tore through the second story of their semi-detached home. The cause of the blaze has not been determined, and another has the cause for a second house fire on Wellington Street East. This time in the 700 block early morning Sunday. Crews were called to the vacant home, also taking considerable smoke and fire damage as a result of the blaze. Another milestone has been marked on the return of passenger rail service to northeastern Ontario's corridor. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
The new era of the Northlander.
Ontario Northland is eagerly waiting for the day it can say, all aboard.
The North deserves and requires a passenger rail service.
And as that day gets closer, work continues to chug along to restore passenger rail service to Northern Ontario. The North Bay Rail Bypass, a 982-metre section of track the Ontario government invested $5.7 million towards to complete, will improve travel times to the North Bay station by 15 minutes.
We need people to have viable alternatives to get to Toronto. Look at here in North Bay. We used to be 4 Air Canada flights a day. We are going to be 4 a week starting in November.
This track will ensure the soon-to-be new Northlander will avoid the busy North Bay rail yard and keep them clear of active CN, Ottawa Valley Railway, and Ontario Northland freight trains. Ontario Northland anticipates the approximate travel time, with regular stops included, will take between 4 and 5 hours.
We're on schedule and we're on budget.
The 3 new train sets are in the manufacturing stage. Ontario Northland is set to receive the first complete train set in early 2026. Then a series of tests and commissioning will take place. That's expected to take several months.
We run all the systems, the big ones like the locomotive, the brakes. We run the little ones like the coffee maker and the washrooms, and we make sure that it works.
Ontario Northland is still working on ticket prices and the arrival departure schedule for the 16-stop train service from Cochrane to Toronto. A fare strategy was submitted to the Ministry of Transportation for review.
Passengers in the north want an affordable service, an accessible service, and it's with those principles that we're going to price these tickets.
The Northlander revival is expected to create 80 new jobs, as getting it back on track remains a top priority. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
We haven't even officially hit fall season yet, but the city of Greater Sudbury is already planning ahead for winter weather. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
It won't be long before the first storm of the winter arrives, and the city will have its removal equipment out to clear snowfall from streets and sidewalks.
Calls I've been getting have been very supportive. People are understood, and they feel that their concerns have been met and have been addressed with this particular program.
The Operations Committee voted to extend a pilot project this winter that adds 3 seasonal employees to the existing 21 who will focus on sidewalk maintenance specifically. Sidewalks get plowed at 8 centimeters of new snow and are typically fully cleared within 24 hours of a storm. The extra staff means sidewalks can get a second pass-through by sidewalk plows.
Although we are approving this, we will strive as best as we can to meet the expectations. We set a high expectation on clearing sidewalks after a snow event, but there may be times where, due to staff not being available, that some sidewalks may go longer than continuous is clear these sidewalks in some areas.
Last winter, 90 volunteers from across the city monitored sidewalk conditions following storms. That data was used to help staff.
If the bank has been knocked over by the street plow, that's an additional plow, will go by and clear that to make it easier for people to pass. Clearing the ends of the intersections where, again, the street plow might have blocked off. That extra plow allows that to be cleared in a timely manner.
When the extra sidewalk pass goes through, the sidewalk conditions are better. The sidewalk conditions are better more frequently. People are able to use the sidewalk safely.
There are 364 kilometers of sidewalks that must be maintained in Greater Sudbury over the winter months. City staff will now prepare a business case for the 2026 budget that recommends the pilot project be turned into a permanent service level. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Back now for a check on the current conditions with Rick Wyman. And Rick, that was a lot of snow in Angela's piece just there. I'm hoping we don't have any cool downs on the way.
We do in a couple of days, not to that extent, but you know what, Ian, you know I like the winter weather because when it's minus 30, minus 40 and the snow is blowing, no bugs. Most important aspect. Here we go. Forecast radar. As we can see, a hint of precipitation coming up in a couple of days, so we'll talk about that and a lot more as well. But first, our current temperatures. Let's begin in Moose City this hour. Loads of sunshine, humidex values also in effect, 25. Cochrane, mainly sunny. Timmins, sunny skies, and Kapuskasing, mostly cloudy. Some sun and cloud in Chapleau as well, but mainly sunny there. Wawa, sunshine. Sault Ste. Marie, sunshine as well. In the beautiful Parry Sound, 26 on the drive down Highway 69 for this evening with the sunshine. North Bay, some sun and cloud. Temiskaming Shores, sunshine, and Kirkland Lake, sunshine as well. Sudbury, Nickel Belt, beautiful 24, 26 Espanola, Elliott Lake 25, and Gore Bay 25. Here we go, Ian. Loads of sunshine, and that trend will continue into tomorrow. Details coming up. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. Well, with the leaves beginning to change, officials with the Trans-Canada Trail are challenging Canadians to hit the trails this fall for a good cause. The Great Canadian Hike Challenge encourages bikers, hikers, and paddlers of all skill levels to log 30,000 kilometers in 30 days. The Trans-Canada Trail is approximately 30,000 kilometers, with Northern Ontario making up almost a sixth of the province's 6,400 kilometer trail total. Funds raised support maintenance and improving trails across Canada, including increasing accessibility.
That could include things like removing debris or fixing a trail surface, but some of it is also more to support the sector as well. So as we know, trail sections are often supported by volunteers, and those volunteers need things like equipment, training, and help with improving things like accessibility along their trail. That could look like benches or washrooms, or just the grading and spacing of the trail as well.
The campaign kicks off Saturday and runs until October 19th. Next on CTV News at 6. Ontario's Liberal leader resigns following a party convention over the weekend. And 2 Canadian women are killed after being struck by a train in Portugal. Ontario Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie has announced she will be resigning as leader. CTV's Siobhan Morris has more on what the leadership race can look like.
Bonnie Crombie's exit as Ontario Liberal leader comes after less than 2 years on the job. Only 57% of delegates at the party's annual general meeting wanted her to stay. Crombie says she decided to go after speaking with her family, the party executive, and her caucus.
People were there in a supportive way to support their friend and their colleague. And she asked them for their advice, and they all gave their advice individually. I'm not going to say what that advice was.
But Liberal MPPs reject any whisper of a revolt or an effort to push Crombie out. While more than half of the Liberals who voted wanted to stick with Crombie.
It was a tough election campaign. She did her best.
Liberals now say going forward with a new leader is what's best for the party.
If we really want to make the inroads with Ontarians and actually have a chance of forming government in the next election.
The Liberals are entering their third leadership contest since the Wynne government's defeat in 2018. there are some existential questions to consider.
Who they are and what they are, because what we just saw happen doesn't necessarily help the party and strengthen them to take on Doug Ford. They're basically starting all over again.
MP Karina Gould, who ran for leadership of the federal Liberals this spring, has been mentioned as a possible Ontario contender. So has her caucus colleague, Nate Erskine-Smith. He came in second to Bonnie Crombie in the leadership contest in 2023.
He's someone that I think has a special ability to, number one, communicate in this day and age to young people.
Erskine-Smith coy about the possibility of pursuing leadership again.
I got no idea what the future holds for me exactly.
Political analyst Scott Reed says for Liberals, it's less important to pick a new leader quickly than to pick well.
What the party really, really needs is someone who can like the land, someone who has the political talent to break through, to get noticed, to take the fight to Doug Ford.
Though there needs to be time to attract good quality candidates.
Because this party cannot afford to keep coming third, or it may not be around to compete elections down the road.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
To federal politics now, and the first day back in the House of Commons. CTV's Mike LeCouture has the story.
The Liberals will need help from any opposition party if they want to make progress on things like bail reform and immigration changes. And let's not forget, they still have to pass a budget.
So I'm looking forward to a collaborative session.
The Prime Minister was preaching collaboration, while many were anticipating today's confrontation.
Mr. Speaker, why is it that all of this Prime Minister's promises of yesterday turn into today's disappointments?
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre attacked the Prime Minister's record. Mark Carney responded with a dig about Poilievre's absence from the House as he campaigned in a by-election.
He missed the largest tax cut for 22 million Canadians. He missed the cut on the GST for new homes. He missed eliminating all federal barriers to trade.
Despite all the jabs, all are calling for cross-partisan collaboration on issues like housing, bail and immigration reform, and the ongoing affordability crisis.
We're going to oppose the government where it makes sense. We are going to support things that make sense, and we are going to expose what they're not telling us.
We are a minority government, yes, but we believe that we have a mandate to proceed with major things.
It's why Liberal House Leader Steve McKinnon said his party is willing to negotiate on details, not principles.
There will be no negotiation, but we want to collaborate. What does that mean? Obey? Become Liberals? Might not happen.
It's by force of will that I ignore the fact that Mr. Carney seems to have one speed, which is fast, and one vehicle, which is a bulldozer.
Any collaboration will be tested soon, as the Liberals will need help to pass a budget this fall, one that the government says is projected to have a substantial deficit. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Elections Canada says there were 44 security incidents during Canada's 45th general election, but none of the events affected the outcome of the vote.
I want Canadians to know that the last election was secure. No security or cybersecurity incident affected the administration of the election.
Chief Electoral Officer Stéphane Perreault says Elections Canada took warnings from the Hogue Report on foreign interference seriously and prepared for and unsuccessfully dealt with the increase in inaccurate information that was circulating. There were a number of cases of special ballots now being handled and being left out of the official count. Perreault says Elections Canada will launch a review of the process. Now to the death of two women from Montreal in Portugal. A friend confirming to CTV News they were hit by a train on Saturday. 62-year-old Guylaine Boulanger and 66-year-old Elise Bernard were taking pictures near a river and they were standing on the tracks. Both women were deaf and did not hear the train blowing its horn. The pair were traveling with two other women who were not injured. Toby Lynn Payne was a close friend of the women who died.
I was crying yesterday. My friends texted me like, I was crying so hard because it's different, right? It's like a fake accident. I couldn't believe it.
Global Affairs Canada confirms 2 Canadians were killed in Portugal but could not give more information due to privacy considerations. The FBI says they have linked the man accused of shooting conservative influencer Charlie Kirk with DNA evidence found at the scene. FBI Director Kash Patel claims DNA that matches suspect Tyler Robinson was discovered on a towel that was allegedly wrapped around a firearm that was discarded near the university. A formal murder charge is expected later this week. The announcement of new evidence comes as Vice President J.D. Vance stepped in to host the late Charlie Kirk's talk show. There's more news ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick Wyman.
Ian, some great weather heading into the fall season, which will start in a couple of days, so get ready for that. Forecast radar right now, we've got a little bit of precipitation coming up on Thursday. 30% chance of rain for the most part across the northeast, but nothing substantial. Then more sunshine and some cooler temperatures, as you will see very shortly. But first, most of our conditions right now, clear skies across the northeast in Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, Timmins, Temiskaming Shores, and North Bay. Meanwhile, in Moosonee, we've got clear skies as well. Caphurst, a few clouds, Wawa and Gore Bay clear, and a few clouds in Parry Sound. Now your 7-day numbers. Sudbury Nickel Belt sunshine for tomorrow and Wednesday, 25-26. Slight chance of showers according to Environment Canada Thursday at 21. 17 Friday, Saturday 18-19 on Sunday. But take a look at that 3-degree mark Friday evening, getting cool. Of course, somewhat below normal. Your normal this time of the year, 17, cooler at night as well. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, here we go. Sunshine for a couple of days, Tuesday, Wednesday. Chance of showers Thursday. Friday, sun and cloud. Saturday, sun and cloud. And the chance of showers, sorry about this, on Sunday. Chance of showers at 30%. And then again, mainly cloudy skies come next Monday. So again, nice variation in conditions, but the warmer weather will subside for a couple of days. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, sunshine Tuesday, Wednesday, 26, 27. Chance of showers Thursday at 16. 14 Friday, sun and cloud. Saturday, sun and cloud as well. And again, the chance of showers on Sunday at 19. Your normal this time of the year, 16. You can see the normal temperatures dropping week after week by a degree or two. And again, how about 1 degree, your overnight low come Friday? Get ready, it's coming. Meanwhile, Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, sunshine Tuesday, Wednesday, 25, 27. Chance of showers on Thursday on the cool down, 14 Friday. This disturbs me. We've got 0. The overnight low come Friday, so you know that cooler weather, that colder weather is coming. Saturday, sun and cloud at 18. Sunday, chance of showers at 19. So again, get ready for those cooler temperatures. North Bay, West Nipissing. Sunshine Tuesday, Wednesday, 24, 26. Thursday, chance of showers. Here we go. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sun and cloud, 17, 18, 20. And right now, the forecast for the fall is some warmer weather, a bit above normal, but not too extreme. So again, that's the early prognosis courtesy of Environment Canada for the fall session, and that'll be rolling around officially in just a couple of days. How about the pick of the day right now? Great shot from my colleague, my good friend Terry Rive, Northern Lights in Garson last night. He said, Rick, Northern Lights, did you catch him? I did last night, but he got the picks. I didn't. So Terry, thank you so much for that. Some great shots as well. Don't forget, Ian is sticking around with more news, all coming up after the break.
Work is underway on a new study by using Sudbury's Vertigo Risk Score. Researchers are hoping to create a reliable tool that improves patient care. It's all thanks to a grant worth more than $750,000 from the Canada Institutes of Health Research. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
The risk score provides questions for physicians to ask in order to determine the immediate risk of reported dizziness. Dr. Robert Ole is hoping to use Sudbury's Vertigo Risk Score to better understand quicker and convenient treatments for patients in emergency settings.
Dizziness is a really common complaint in the emergency department. And it's tough for emergency medicine physicians because we don't have great guidance on deciding of those patients that present who is suffering from a serious diagnosis and who is safe to be discharged home.
The Sudbury Vertigo Risk Score is currently being tested to validate the effectiveness for emergency physicians to identify high-risk dizziness patients. The funding is also improving NOSM students' learning about very common emergency department patients. Dr. Michael Green said in the release, when research, teaching, and clinical practice come together, patients, especially those in rural and northern communities, see the direct benefit. Dr. Ole says the data is important to Northern Ontario, as in Southern Ontario populations, referrals are more convenient than in the north.
Northern Ontario, patients oftentimes have to travel long distance to see specialists. So referring them to somebody has a big impact on the patient. So it's more important than ever for us to be able to accurately identify who actually needs to make that trip to see the neurologist, who needs to be transferred to a center to have advanced imaging.
According to HSN, most cases of dizziness are benign. However, some dizziness can be a sign of life-threatening conditions. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
A growing number of parents are struggling with the costs of the essentials when it comes to raising their children. One organization is looking to help them. CTV's Pauline Chan reports.
So we've built this really large physical wall of diapers as a representation of the fact that for many families, diapers are a barrier that's limiting their ability to get to work. So we are literally blocking people as they're trying to get to work.
All this week, volunteers with Baby Love are talking about the need for diapers with people on the path.
1 in 5 families in Toronto are actually experiencing diaper need. And what inspired our diaper barrier here today is a staggering complementary statistic, which is that for 60% of those families experiencing diaper need, they miss on average 4 days of work or school each month because they don't have the diapers required to drop off their children at childcare. We're so fortunate to work with Irving Personal Care, who provides us with their Royale diaper. It's the only branded diaper made here in Canada. It's hypoallergenic.
The diapers are distributed through community organizations that also provide supportive services such as food and housing.
We get our diapers for about 2.5 times less than retail, and that's really meaningful because diaper prices are actually up 20% in the past 2 years alone. So families are really feeling the crunch. The average newborn can go through 13 to 15 diapers in a day.
And studies show diapers are a young family's 4th largest expense after housing, food, and utilities. A $25 donation buys diapers and wipes for a month.
It's super eye-opening.
This woman was one of those who gave today.
I don't think a lot of people realize that having access to diapers is what gets you into daycare. And when you have daycare, you can go to work. You can go to school. You can have all these other connections.
The Baby Love display will be here at the concourse level of Commerce Court, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. through the end of Friday. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The Sudbury Symphony Orchestra is busy preparing for a brand new season. This week, the Magical Symphony Tour takes the stage, an orchestral rendition of the Beatles' second album. Next month, the main stage concert of the season is Classical Mega Hits Volume 2. Both shows are led by conductor William Rosen, who says he's looking forward to an exciting season.
We wanted to feature the great talent that is here in Sudbury. And in fact, last night we hosted community auditions for the first time in a long time here. And I was just blown away with some of the players that came out and auditioned. We'll have some new members of the orchestra that way and some new soloists.
Such a talented group of musicians. The Magical Symphony Tour opens on Friday. A Vancouver man's daily walks in the park led to an unlikely friendship with a crow. CTV's Adam Sawatsky shows us how that bond took flight and why it's leaving a lasting impression.
When Jake Huang went for a walk that day, he never expected to see a beaver.
It was surprising because it is the middle of the city.
So Jake started visiting the urban park daily to capture the beaver with his camera.
And it was just sort of building its dam and eating and just chilling by itself.
But Jake soon realized he was far from alone.
There's this kind of revelation that there's so much around us all the time.
The more Jake spent observing, the more creatures started appearing, the more calm he felt.
And it really showed me the importance, I guess, of slowing down.
But it was one particular crow, Jake says, who who changed everything.
I noticed him right away from a distance because I was kind of worried he was injured.
He was limping, his foot twisted. But after observing more, Jake says the crow seemed to be thriving.
I saw other crows sort of like take care of him almost.
Jake named him Fabian and started documenting the crow daily over the next 3 years.
Well, they're very intelligent and they're very social and compassionate animals.
Recording the enduring love between Fabian and his mate June, which led to the couple starting a family together.
They're quite affectionate, so they would groom each other, they would spend time together.
And eventually, Jake earned Fabian's friendship. The crow would always fly over to greet him, Jake says, even after he had moved away for months.
It was so remarkable that when I came back, he just came to say hi.
How did that feel?
It felt magical, like a Disney movie or something.
Jake is now sharing his real-life movies about Fabian and all the other creatures he's encountered in the city on social media to honor our natural neighbors.
Connecting with living things, having empathy. You see this whole social life in this universe that's so different from ours, but it's just unfolding right in front of all of us. It's pretty amazing.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Cinefest is underway with a whole slate of films, including one local one that's hoping to start some conversations.
Clothing consideration provided by
Fashion Fair. Beautiful clothing for today's woman, where quality makes the difference.
Hockey Hall of Fame goaltender and Sudbury native Eddie Jackman has passed away. Jackman spent the 13 seasons in the National Hockey League from 1965 to 1978, playing for the New York Rangers and Detroit Red Wings. He was a four-time All-Star, a Vezina Trophy winner, and was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1987. Jackman's jersey is one of only 10 the New York Rangers have retired in their storied history. Exhibition play continues over in the OHL, and it was a tough Sunday for a few of our northern teams. The Sioux Greyhounds fall to their division rivals, the Saginaw Spirit, by a score of 8-5, and despite a valiant comeback, the Sudbury Wolves just couldn't catch up to the Frontenacs. Kingston comes away with this 6-4 win. And the Sudbury Wolves announcing a trade late this afternoon over ager Noah Roberts has been sent to the Owen Sound Attack for several future draft picks, including the Attack's 2026 third-round selection. The Wolves were heavy on overagers going into the regular season, which starts Friday. And just a pair of regular season games to update you on in the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League. The Hearst Lumberjacks were in Espanola taking on the Paper Kings, and they cruised to an easy 5-2 victory. And the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners beat the Iroquois Falls Storm by a score of 6-2. The region's largest film festival is underway, and boy, what a few days it has been. This was the scene on Saturday, just ahead of the big gala premiere and opening of the festival. CTV News has been a proud sponsor of the event, and I was honored to give the opening speech. And as you can see, there were a lot of other familiar faces there too, including Angela, Amanda, and Marina Moore. Some 35,000 people will likely attend before it's over.
When I did my undergrad at Waterloo, there's the Princess Cinema with lots of repertory films and art films, and so this is a continuation of what I really love.
I'm a movie lover. I'm actually a filmmaker, and this is the biggest thing in town. It's nice to have because Sudbury, it's nice to have a little something of films all over the world in Sudbury because there's not too many opportunities to go see them.
I've been coming to Cinefest for over probably 30 years. I love it. I come every year. I just find it super, super fun. A lot of great people, a lot of great movies.
And I've been coming since day one, and I do believe that was 37 years ago, and Elwie Yost came up to celebrate the start of the Sudbury Cinefest.
I've actually never been to Cinefest. I've been to Cineplex a number of times throughout my life, but I'm coming to Cinefest actually for a school project. I'm watching a French movie, but I was really interested to see that there was such a diverse amount of movies in different languages.
A short film making its premiere tomorrow at Cinefest is hoping to spark some conversation. Not only is it multilingual, it's multicultural and set in a dystopian future. The film is called Can You Feel It Now? To the film's creators, it's a poetry-driven exploration of memory, connection, and ancestral teachings. A retelling of voluntary contact between Black and Indigenous people, highlighting the story around the welcomer and the traveler.
Trying to make this a voluntary meeting of two peoples in a grander context of genocide, of violence, and of displacement.
Filmed entirely in Doquis and Nipissing First Nations, the team behind it are either from the north or at least have a connection to it. Having the film debut at Cinefest in Sudbury is a special homecoming of sorts.
To have it so close to home, you can have all of these conversations that exist, all the people that you know and have seen you grown up come and support you, and for Rana as well, and for Isaac, it's really just beautiful to have our community at our disposal.
We kind of play around with this idea of solidarity between these two people.
The characters share their history, their culture through poetry. For the film's director, Isaac Valancourt, it's deeply personal.
With an experimental film like this, you have a lot more creative liberties. You could really play around with non-conventional storylines, and you could really be flexible with it. So it's also really unique.
The film is multilingual. Moviegoers will hear poetry in English, Anishinaabe-Moan, Uruba, Karindi, and Swahili. The film's creators say the blending between African and Indigenous languages was intentional. Everything is also subtitled.
It pushes people towards trying to imagine a future where we don't have to see the destruction, to see the resurgence of connection, of community, of these cultural conversations that really lead to a prosperous future.
Can You Feel It Now makes its world premiere tomorrow at 4 at Cinefest before carrying on in the film festival route. The 77th Emmy Awards were handed out in Hollywood last night, with a trio of shows taking home the most trophies. Rick Damigella has the big winners in the Hollywood Report.
And the Emmy goes to Adolescence.
British crime drama Adolescence was the big winner at the 77th Emmy Awards. The Netflix series won the Limited Anthology Series or Movie categories for Outstanding Series, Directing, Writing, Supporting Actor for Owen Cooper, Supporting Actress for Erin Doherty, and Lead Actor for Stephen Graham.
I'm just a mixed-race kid from a block of flats in a place called Kirby. So for me, to be here today in front of my peers and to be acknowledged by you is the utmost humbling thing I could ever imagine in my life.
Seth Rogen, The Studio.
In the comedy categories, The Studio was the big winner, taking home 4 Emmys, with Seth Rogen winning Lead Actor.
I've never won anything in my life. When I was a kid, I bought a used bowling trophy at an estate sale. And my parents were like, yeah, that's a good idea. You should probably buy that.
And returning to the stage for writing, directing, and outstanding comedy series.
It's getting embarrassing. I really appreciate it, in all honesty.
The Pit.
Medical drama The Pit won 3 Emmys for Outstanding Drama Series, Catherine Lanasa winning Supporting Actress, and Noah Wiley for Lead Actor, marking his first Emmy win.
To anybody who's going on shift tonight or coming off shift tonight, thank you for being in that job. This is for you.
And the Emmy goes to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Arguably the biggest standing ovation of the night went to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and its win for Outstanding Talk Show.
Sometimes you only truly know how much you love something when you get a sense that you might be losing it. And 10 years later, in September of 2025, my friends, I have never loved my country more desperately. God bless America. Stay strong, be brave, and if the elevator tries to bring you down, go crazy and punch a higher floor. Woo!
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
China and the U.S. have reached a framework for a TikTok deal days before a deadline which would have banned the social media app in the United States, unless it was sold to a non-Chinese buyer.
We made very good progress on the technical details of the agreement. In terms of the agreement, the overall agreement itself, our Chinese counterparts have come with very aggressive asks. We will see if we can get there.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was tight-lipped on details of the agreement, but said the commercial terms have been agreed upon. Bessent says the goal was to get a deal that was fair to China while respecting U.S. national security concerns. A sticking point in the negotiations has been who would control the algorithm which controls what users see on the app. The presidents of the U.S. and China are scheduled to talk on Friday. Two iconic Canadian brands are teaming up to launch a new rewards program to customers next year. Customers will earn Canadian Tire money when they link their Triangle and Tim's rewards accounts on eligible purchases. Linking both accounts will give customers access to exclusive offers. The companies didn't reveal specifics on that or how much Canadian Tire money will be earned per dollar spent, but say that information will be available closer to launch. Some of the Canadian Tire family of brands include Sport Chek, Party City, and Mark's Work Warehouse. Triangle Rewards program is set to launch a partnership with WestJet next year. The Bank of Canada is widely expected to cut its key interest rate by a quarter point to 2.5% later this week. The central bank will announce its policy decision on Wednesday. That will follow the release of inflation data for August tomorrow. Economists expect the annual inflation rate to rise to 2% from 1.7% in July. The U.S. Federal Reserve is also expected to cut interest rates this week. And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $35.79, closing the day at $36.78.91 U.S. an ounce. Silver up 50 cents to end the day at $42.69. Copper up a nickel, $4.56, and nickel up 7 cents, ending the day at $6.93 U.S. a pound. Rick is back now for one last look at the weather.
Where's the party? Nickel's up 7 cents. I love it, Ian. It's a bona fide reason to have a party. Pretty straightforward forecast for tomorrow. Mainly sunny skies right across the northeast, as you can see. Temperatures in the mid-20s, mid to upper 20s. So it'll be a really nice day tomorrow and the following day before we get the chance of rain at 30% across the northeast. Then we're back to the sunshine, some sun, some cloud, and some cooler temperatures. So all in all, I can look forward to seeing more sunshine tomorrow and the day after that, Ian. So a great forecast. Enjoy it. Back to you.
More sunshine? I will. Thank you, sir. Well, finally for us tonight, staff at a local bar in southern Ontario were left starstruck when an unexpected visitor showed up. Chicago's Pub and Billiards in Cambridge say they had no idea Justin Bieber would be stopping by, but were happy to host him for a night out. Staff say he played pool with a friend, sang karaoke, and took photos with fans. After Bieber posted a photo of himself at one of the billiards tables, the pub says customers started pouring in, hoping to catch a glimpse of the star. Just unreal. Can't imagine having your Friday night turn out like that. That's our newscast this Monday night. Thanks so much for watching. Amanda Hicks is in tonight at 11:30 with the late night news. Make sure you tune in. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.